My name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and open source intelligence. So open source intelligence, they call it OSINT, is a method of doing investigations using available data or publicly available data. So it's not a new concept, but it has a new twist because of the digital age. I guess think about it as kind of like Sherlock Holmes investigating things just from observation. So this type of observation that happens with open source intelligence is about digital information that can glean insights, or kind of digital information is collected, looked at, analyzed, maybe from multiple sources to try to authenticate information, whether that be evidence, like in a court case, evidence in terms of kind of the whereabouts of people. Is being used in all types of different industries. It's being used in marketing, insurance, banking, all types of things. So basically, it's kind of the ability to investigate publicly available data and sort of corroborate information. So one of the most popular ways, most recently, or maybe two, where people have seen folks use open source intelligence is the Capitol riots. So when the Capitol riots happened, a lot of people who stormed the Capitol, a lot of those people were not arrested on that day, but there were people using kind of this open source intelligence method to find information like social media posts, information, especially like photographs. So photographs have metadata in it that tells kind of the location of where the person is. They use it for things like fake news, misinformation, deep fakes. In fact, is also being heavily used in the current conflict with Russia and the Ukraine, because there are a lot of deep fake videos or videos that are being put out on the internet claiming that this is what's happening in the Ukraine, and these OSINT investigators go to look at those images to try to determine whether they're real or fake. So some of the things that they do, they may use kind of Google Maps, social media posts, photographs, sundials, so they say, okay, this photograph has a shadow for this time of the year, this particular place, so this isn't the place. As I said, metadata, reverse image searches, it's just all types of things. And I think people will start using this more, especially as we starting to see even more data or more sensors or more publicly available information about individuals. I'm hoping to see more use of this in terms of being able to detect deepfakes, not just in kind of a military sense or evidence sense, but also, to protect individuals and to also validate true images. I think also in terms of kind of the metaverse and IoT, collecting more data in public areas, or people actually giving up more information. So when people post things publicly on the internet, all that stuff is fair game for people who do this open source intelligence. We know that organizations like, for example, like the New York Times or big news agencies use this to corroborate evidence and information that people give them. But I think that this is going to happen a lot more. Also, I'm hoping to see a lot more technology in this space where it's kind of fusing that information together. So right now we may have different teams of people working on different parts of doing this kind of open source intelligence. So being able to do it in a way where you can combine those insights maybe in real or near real time, I think it would be really interesting. The privacy implications, I think, are definitely there because I think much more of our lives are more public than it ever was before. And I think a lot of people don't imagine that this type of data can be combined and insights can be gleaned from just, looking at photographs, looking at, GPS, looking at all types of different methods and ways in which people either are being tracked or they volunteer information about themselves. So it remains to be seen how this area will develop. I think it's just going to bloom, continue to go forward. I think it's been kind of very niche up to this point, but as we see data just, enormous data is being collected, being created, it'll only make this area of expertise more popular. That's it. Thank you.